You're showing. Capital M and then ANCITY2. Something just went off. I think it reconnected to something.
Moody came to play. I feel like you always had a Mac.
Just let me know when to post.
Never had a Mac. I
I
might
had
have
it.
one, but she'll see. Current computer is kind of a piece of poo.
All right, so audio is up. Audio is up. So this is what our live stream looks like, and this is the secondary computer that I use. I'll use to go over the bracket.
All right, for everyone joining us, we're going to get started in the next minute or so, so get ready. We're going to be coming live here. We're watching two games currently. Virginia Tech taking on Florida and Colgate taking on Arkansas. Obviously, the 14-3 matchup there for the Colgate Arkansas. And then for the Virginia Tech Florida game, we got the 7-10 matchup between Florida and Virginia. That game's almost at halftime, so we're going to be coming at you in the next minute or so. So sit back, relax, and get ready to get live. If you guys want to call in, again, we'll put the number. The number's right here on the screen. It's 1-800-387-6355. You guys can call or text that number, and we'll try to get everyone that calls or texts it on air as soon as possible. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the pickball.
This the pig fall. Gonna sit you down and listen to this real talk. Ain't no first or second option, this the default. Turning picks into these dollars, gonna let them fall. Raining down these daily winnings like an aerosol. Analytics calculated just to win it all. Problems when it comes to choosing, we got all them solved. Got the picks that needing fixed, and you know who to call. Cause this the pig vault.
And he is right. That was Jay Alive. Everyone go check him out right now on Instagram at Jay Alive Official on Instagram. Again, we're watching two games here currently. Florida trails in the ball game. And obviously over here we got Colgate and Arkansas. Colgate with a lead. And everyone out there for Pickball Nation, again, we released our Pickball Artificial Intelligence back-to-back bracket earlier today. It's out there on the Instagram right now. You guys can check it and follow along as the tournament goes. And obviously follow how, and let us know how you're doing out there with your bracket. So everyone, how you guys doing? Everyone, I know Andy, Frank.
What is going on?
Dan. So
how's it going,
here.
guys? Thank you for joining in.
doing?
Appreciate it on this
Big day.
fine Friday.
So yeah,
Madness.
we're watching these two games, and I want to go, Andy, hop in here first. I know you got Virginia Tech in this matchup. So Virginia Tech with the early lead, 29-25, 2 minutes to go in the first. What's your initial thoughts on how, the Hokies are playing, and really what do they have to do to, hold on to this lead and kind of pull off the upset early in the tournament, first real game of the tournament, if you don't include the playing games yesterday. So, what does Virginia Tech have to do to hold on to this one?
They got to keep shooting the three ball well. They've come out hot from three, from distance. Couture, the guy that has the ball right now, has made, I think he's 3 or 4 from downtown, so he's been huge off the bench. They got to get Kevy Aluma going, number 22, the big man. He's their leading scorer at 16 points per game, 8 rebounds. So getting him going could be huge. They go back, take the lead now up 4, 31-27. They also got to get it going on the defensive end. They were doing that very well earlier in the game, and now they're kind of struggling a bit. They allowed Florida back in the game. They were up kind of big. Now they're only up 4. So we'll see if they can maybe extend that lead here with about 109 left in the first half and maybe get that up to 7 or 8 points.
Andy, to be honest with you, I know you are in Virginia Tech, and obviously I don't want anyone losing money here, but obviously I think Florida is going to win the game, and I still think they will because this is typical Florida. Virginia Tech in the ACC, so hot and cold all season. I'm not saying Florida hasn't been. I just think at the end of the day, Florida has dominant guard play and superstars on that team that can finish the game. Don't get me wrong, Virginia Tech's good, but they must know something because Florida, I think, were they always +1? Did they open at that, or did it move to +1?
To start, and it went to.
So the line did change then a little bit. So it did go to a pick 'em, and then I saw Florida +1, and obviously I think my mom's in this chat, so I don't gamble, but when I do it responsibly, and I didn't take Florida, but I probably should have, and I'm not worried. If anything, I think they come back. Obviously the line's at 1. We saw yesterday's games too. Every single game has basically come down to the wire for the most part. The spreads have really been on, except for the UCLA Michigan State game where everyone and their mother was on Michigan State, and we saw what happened there, unfortunately.
Does anyone know who Michael Hannigan is?
Ooh, no.
That's my friend Mike.
So Michael Hannigan, if you want to call in, obviously you're in here in the chat.
Hey, he said BT Moneyline was a lock.
Yeah, he said BT Moneyline was a lock, and I agree. I was all in on BT Moneyline earlier, and again, the pick vault was. I'm trying to get the pick vault bracket up here so you guys can see that along. Then you can, but up here as well.
Yeah, if you just type it in. You got to be in. Go to Chrome. Go to Chrome.
Oh, is Karen here?
Did Cameron Payne end up getting suspended? Is he in this? Has he been playing?
I don't know.
I
I haven't seen him. I don't.
I was gonna say I haven't really seen him either.
Chance?
To be honest, I think it's 22. I think.
I haven't seen a 22 on the.
Oh no, that is a 22, but I don't think that's him. I just know
there's 22 right now.
They've played.
He's gigantic. He might be like 15.
They played a lot of that kid, Colin Castleton, who's obviously because that's why I asked you earlier if Virginia Tech had like a big guy, because that's really what I was worried about. Because with Cameron Payne being out. But honestly, you can't really doubt Trey Mann. I just always go back to the Tennessee game, maybe just because I was watching it. The kid had like 2 points at halftime. End of the game, he had 35, I think.
I watched that game too. No, he was amazing.
They still lost the game, though, unfortunately. But I think Tennessee's definitely a better team than Virginia Tech for sure. Oh.
We'll have to see. It's a 6-point game at half, 33-27, Virginia Tech. I think Virginia Tech holds on. I think it's going to come down to the wire. Vegas knows something, obviously.
Always
do.
It
was very close. It flip-flopped back and forth. I think these teams were honestly seeded wrong. I think Florida was overseeded, and I think Virginia Tech was underseeded.
Interesting. Would you say it should have been a flop? It should have been like a 10-7 flip?
The other way, honestly. I think Virginia Tech should have the 7, and Florida should be the 10. I didn't think Florida was that great. They struggled against the top teams in the SEC this year, and I don't think the SEC was really that strong.
It was a little top-heavy, yeah. I know we talk about that a lot.
Besides really maybe LSU and Arkansas, they lost every matchup to those teams, and they go 1-2 against Tennessee. And I don't even think Tennessee is that. They're okay. They're a good team. I don't see them going far in this tournament.
Yeah, they're just too inconsistently at shooting.
Absolutely,
it's just a disaster.
Great defensive squad.
All right, so now let's get started. I got to bracket up. Let's just talk about. Obviously, we got both these games on, but let's talk about both games. Let's dive in. My mom just texted me, by the way, Frank. She said she loves your socks. She loves the Nike socks. So mom, thanks for noticing the Nike socks. We're not sponsored by Nike, but everyone out there.
Soon to be. Maybe an old Mamita sponsor.
Okay, so here we go. Let's talk about this bracket. Here's the bracket right here that the Pickfall released, obviously for everyone out there. Again, the artificial intelligence. Wait a second. This is not the Pickfall bracket. Hold on. Let me try to get this up here. You know where that bracket is, Dan?
Yeah, you got to log into, just go into Instagram.
Here we go. Sorry about this. All right, so here is.
I couldn't tell you my login. I'm sorry.
All right, so we'll get the bracket up there in a minute. But Andy, you want to kind of go through your bracket and kind of talk about who you have winning this tournament. Obviously,
do you want me to go through my pick vault bracket specifically?
Yeah, kind of break down where who you think goes deep into this tournament, who gives a run, later into the games. Obviously, people are talking about Gonzaga. I know the pick vault came out with a Gonzaga winning the tournament, and a lot of people are talking about the bet out there is, are you going to go with Gonzaga or the field? And so if that was the option for you, Andy, you had the choice, you get to bet Gonzaga or the other 63 teams in this tournament, who are you taking?
I'm easily taking the other 63 teams. Listen, Gonzaga's a great team, and they're undefeated, obviously, coming into this, so they're trying to do something special. But we haven't really seen a team go undefeated and actually do that in a very long time. Obviously, there was the Kentucky Anthony Davis team that almost did it for us in a full-fledged season, no COVID, winning almost the full 40-game slate that you play normally. So it would be pretty impressive for them. They have a lot of the top talent that you haven't seen in the past years when they've been in the position like this. So I do see them getting to the Final Four and potentially even the championship game. I actually have them in my pick vault bracket, losing in the final to Baylor. I think that is the one team that will be their kryptonite. I think it's a team that people are kind of down on a little bit because they got COVID and they've been in a little bit of, not a down spiral, but they've lost a couple games after that, lost to Kansas. They lost in the first round game not first round, but I believe it was the semifinals, quarterfinals against Oklahoma State in the Big 12 tournament. So that was a big upset. So I usually tend to like those teams that don't play those long conference tournaments and get that break. And I think that could be good for Baylor. They didn't win their conference tournament, so I think that's a motivational factor for them to make a deep run and get to the championship round against the Gonzaga team.
Yeah, one interesting thing to add about this Gonzaga team is that it's a little bit different in terms of the makeup that they have this year. Again, they have 3 of the top 15 players in the entire country, I would say, which is a little bit different because they're typically a defensively minded team, which is very interesting because this team is more offensively minded. So they, again, can score with anybody, but we've seen at times, in particular in the final against BYU, where they weren't shooting very well at the beginning. BYU again being incredibly hot and being able to take that lead. So it'll be interesting to see if a team is able to defensively match up with some of the stars that they have and really be able to take that to their advantage and make it a ball game.
Yeah, so Gonzaga is a team that Dan and I we watched Gonzaga earlier in the year, and They obviously are the most talented team in the country, I think, across the board, and most consistent team, which I like. But talking about Gonzaga, it's hard to bet on the favorite to win the tournament. We never see it really go down,
Tough.
Even in some of the bigger years. And this team reminds me a lot of that Kentucky. I know I mentioned it on one of our episodes a few days ago, but this team reminds me a lot of that Kentucky team that had Karl Anthony Towns, that had John Wall, that was undefeated in the regular season, and then all of a sudden, they got to the tournament, they looked good, and then they ended up losing. I think it was the national championship game.
They lost, I think, in the Final Four to Wisconsin. Frank Kaminsky.
That was classic college basketball. But yeah, I agree with you, man. I just think at the end of the day, I know they kind of call Gonzaga, it's like almost the West Coast, almost like a blue belt, like a West Coast Duke kind of deal where they're getting top recruits. And like you said, Frank, that's why they're not defensively minded. You have Jalen Suggs, you have Timmy, you have guys that they have top recruits that Duke doesn't even have. Obviously, we see where Duke is right now. But yeah, this Gonzaga team, definitely scary, but the only thing, they're not battle tested yet. We saw them somewhat battle tested against BYU, but again, I don't think BYU, they could shoot the hell out of the ball. They shot 73% first half of that game and still lost. So if anything, I think they lost that game themselves. But yeah, this Gonzaga team definitely scary because when they're hot, man. But I don't know. Baylor though, Andy, I know you talk about Baylor a lot. I think UNC, if they find a way, if UNC plays good basketball, UNC definitely could give Baylor a run for their money.
I totally agree with that, Dan. I have a couple brackets. One of my brackets, I do have UNC pulling off that upset. I do think there's definitely a possibility there. I even think Purdue, if they get there past Tennessee and past the Mean Green or Winthrop, not Tennessee, Villanova or Winthrop then as well. I think Purdue could put up a tough battle.
I think Purdue could go a little deep too. I know Matt likes Purdue.
10 teams in the Big 12 in defensive rebounding. UNC, like you mentioned, they have some monsters inside. They have a huge man rotation between Garrison Brooks and Armando Baycott and Day'Ron Sharp, amongst others. And then even in Purdue, they got Trevion Williams. He's an absolute animal inside. I mean, you saw what he did against Ohio State in that Big Ten conference tournament game where he almost led them back. But
at the same time, this UNC team could come out and just absolutely shit the bed. Yeah, I don't trust them whatsoever.
They're a Jekyll and Hyde kind of team.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
The whole ACC is Jekyll and Hyde.
All of us.
The whole ACC.
They're kind of that team that can show up. Their guard play, Caleb Love is very turnover prone. He's a freshman. Maybe the moment's too much for him against a top team. And guys like Teague, Butler, Mitchell, I mean, you name it. Everyone else on that Butler roster comes to play. It's over.
So speaking of Jekyll and Hyde, I mean, we're watching this game right now. So we're watching the 14 and the 3 seed, obviously here in the pickball bracket. I mean, I wanted to pull up the pickball bracket again for everyone out there. I finally got the capability to pull it up here for you guys. The pickball does have Gonzaga winning the national championship game, as you guys can see here. And pretty much there is some surprises. I mean, I wanted to pull out here North Carolina, talking about a Jekyll and Hyde team. I mean, I know we're touching on it right here, but North Carolina plays Wisconsin up here in the upper right-hand corner of the bracket here. Pickball has Wisconsin making it through to the next round. Another interesting matchup, and it's this one we're talking about right now, which is Arkansas and Colgate. And Colgate obviously currently leads 20-17. Many people thought, and I know Dan was one of them, thought that Colgate didn't have the talent to pull off this.
Yeah,
so let's take a second just to talk about this game specifically, which is the Colgate and Arkansas game. And again, for Pickball Nation, we see Pickball Nation pick the upset, 14 seed Colgate taking down Arkansas. So let's talk about this game right now. We're watching it here as Colgate jumps out to the 23-17 lead early on. So obviously, my question, I'll go to Dan first because I know you doubted this team.
I did doubt them.
What they could do. Do you think they have what it takes after seeing most of this first half, or at least more than half of the first half, to maybe pull this upset off?
I mean, right now, yeah, they're playing good basketball, but I can't say Arkansas is playing their best basketball. They're down about 8 right now. I mean, Colgate's fired up. I mean, you got a team in Colgate that they're nothing to lose here. Going up against an Arkansas team that obviously was heavily favored, probably still is, honestly. I was going to say, get in on Arkansas now. They're probably still minus 500. I mean, they're really not down that much. I know the spread was 8. I did kind of like Colgate with the points because I hear about this Colgate team. I hear that they only play like 5 actual schools and just beat up on them every single game. And I'm like, you know what? That's not that competitive.
But hold on.
But then I thought about it.
I did not to cut you off. My question, though, is it's not their fault. Their schedule.
I'm not saying it's their fault. I understand.
They play who they in front of.
Well, that's what. Then I was going to say, because I was talking to someone this morning, and it's almost more impressive that they beat the same teams 5 times. Because we always talk, it's hard to beat a team twice. Yep. It's hard to beat a team 3 times. Right. You're beating a team 5 times. But then honestly, I look at it that way. The other teams must be pretty piss poor, to be honest with you. if I'm part of the other teams, I would not be happy with it. But yeah, I mean, Colgate definitely has the ability to hang around. They will, obviously, this whole game. But Arkansas is going to make it a game. I don't see it being a blowout whatsoever at all. I don't know if anyone else thinks like Pickvold obviously thinks Colgate's going to pull it out. I know a lot of people that kind of think the same thing, honestly.
So I'm going to go over here to Andy. Andy and Frank, Frank, I actually want to hear from you. What do you got in this game? I know we talked about it briefly before hopping on air. Right now, obviously, Colgate with an 8-point lead and a timeout called here. So my question to you is, do you think they have what it takes to pull off the upset?
So I think Colgate definitely could. And one thing that, again, was so puzzling was what Dan had mentioned in that they've only played 5 teams this year, with Arkansas being the 6th. And a lot of that was due to the issues presented by COVID and travel. So they were playing the same teams 3 or 4 times, including teams like Boston and teams like that in the Patriot League. But, I mean, they could. They're a good shooting team. Again, the records speak for itself. Like Dan had mentioned, again, hard to beat a team over and over and over again. 14-1 record. They're able to run the table in the Patriot League final. But this Razorbacks team is obviously a good team. I think that, looking at a little bit of the box score, is that they're a team that likes to run. And I think that obviously that becomes difficult as Colgate continues to hit shots and forces them really to take the ball out of bounds and slow down that momentum, not allowing that fast break. So I think obviously that's not something that the Razorbacks can work on, but something that they will really look to capitalize on as they're able to get the ball and really push it and cause that momentum to swing back in their favor.
So here's my question along the same lines. I know you guys both love Syracuse.
Do they?
And we got a big matchup tonight. Again, for Pickball Nation, anyone in this chat, the real live stream. I mean, this is live. I mean, we're live here, obviously talking to you guys, and we're watching these games. These games are great, and we're going to break them down, talk to you guys, and obviously we're going to be talking about betting, and obviously want to get people to call in and talk about who they got in the ball games and everything. But tonight, Syracuse has a matchup, and I know you guys are both wearing a little bit of Syracuse colors. At least
a little bit. I'm repping a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Frank's wearing the camo. He doesn't want to admit it.
Talk about Syracuse's odds at making a little bit of a run here, and obviously tonight they got a tough one. I'm going against Syracuse. I think San Diego State will get this one done. Who you got?
I'm on Q's at +3. I'll probably ride the money line as well. I think they take this one. I think San Diego State not prepared for the zone. They've only played it once this year. Obviously, it's not hard to play against the zone. You can watch film with Syracuse. It's the only thing that they play. You know what's coming at you. But I just think Buddy Boeheim has gotten hot at the right time. I think we found an actual rotation with Kadari Richmond now, Jesse Edwards, and Robert Braswell playing significant minutes. We have 8 guys deep, which for many of the people out there watching that are Syracuse students or alumni as well, my friends, Frank's friends right now, we know during our time that Boeheim barely went 1 deep in his bench most times, and we had 6 people. So the fact that we have 8 right now, and I mean, that's incredible. Incredible.
I guess I'll take that because I like to see that Syracuse is actually having some change because I'll be honest with you, some sort of change. No, yeah, you have depth and that's change. And like you said, because he usually doesn't go deep on the bench. I mean, I watched Syracuse mainly when Tyus was there, obviously because we went to high school with him for, I don't even know, maybe 6 months. But yeah, I mean, Syracuse, they only play a zone. And that's always been a question mark around maybe even getting some top recruits because then they go to the NBA and everyone, the first thing they say is, oh, you don't know how they are man, but hopefully you would hope that a D1 athlete can play man and come over with that. But the one thing I want to see tonight is Syracuse going to, if they don't, dominate like usual in this zone, will they switch with San Diego State? Because San Diego State likes to run. They're going to move quick. If you guys don't set up, it could be a long day. But again, if Buddy Boeheim drops over 25 points, I don't see you guys. I think you'll at least cover. The pick fault's actually riding with Syracuse. When we were looking at the simulations this morning, I was like, I don't know.
The artificial intelligence
it knows. It definitely knows.
All right. So all joking aside, and I'm back. Sorry, I had to go do something quickly. But all joking aside about Syracuse tonight, I got a little bit of surprise up my sleeve for you guys, you two tonight, and I think it'd be fun on air. We'll talk about it obviously with
it is good.
Pickle Nation. It'll be fun. And so my question: watching San Diego State, have you guys seen them play at all this year? First off.
Yes, I have seen them play a couple times.
Watching San Diego State playing, and I want to be just honest. I believe Syracuse has the talent. I believe Syracuse can do it. I believe Syracuse, if they play their best game, they will win the game. I think I've been straight across the board. I want to see Syracuse make it to the next round. I just don't think on a neutral site, when we've seen how poor they played on the road, how poor they played in neutral sites even, I just don't think they're gonna get done tonight. So again, Pickle Nation, everyone out there, I want to get people in the chat. I know we're seeing some messages here. We got Colgate, Jack Price. Shout out Jack Price. You guys know Jack Price?
Yeah, these are all my.
Tell them to call in. Get them.
Let's get a caller.
Get a caller on this.
Zone or Price calling right now.
Yeah,
somebody
hear that sweet, beautiful voice.
I want to hear Price because Price sounds like he's on the money.
He's out in California.
He's on the money.
He's up early.
He's got Colgate.
He is.
I'm looking here. He got Colgate money line, and he also, I believe, who else you got? I want to hear Price's bracket. So I'm waiting for a call from Price. Let's see what we got here.
Also at Dan, I'm seeing right now Arkansas on the live money line minus 115.
Yeah, it's a great line. I would take it now.
One interesting note about Syracuse and San Diego State in the matchup, which will be interesting, and again, something that Andy and I outlined a little bit on the Spread the Wealth show, is that this is a San Diego State team that doesn't play the zone. And again, we talk about the comfortability of what they're going to be able to do to try and overcome that and really swing and move the ball. The only team that they actually played against the zone was Air Force, who finished 5-20. Obviously not a very good team as shown by the record, but they ran a little bit of a different style. It was a 3-2 man concept. So it'll be interesting for them to try and make adjustments. Again, I know that they're a good 3-point shooting team, but it is a tough scheme to play against if you really don't have that. And I know that some of the guys in the chat know that the zone isn't always the best. And to answer your question, Dan, they're not going to switch out of the zone.
No, they never will. They never will. I'll never see it.
But I mean, it'll be interesting to see. Again, San Diego State can shoot very well, but it'll be interesting to see if they do. But I mean, again, I really do like this Syracuse team and the depth as well. I mean, some of that came from injury, but then when you look at it on a deeper level, the three guys that they have that are on the bench, Jesse Edwards, Kadari Richmond, and Bobby Braswell, those are all long guys that really give them versatility on the defensive side. So when Jesse Edwards comes into the game, he then sits in the middle, which allows Dolajai to be on the wing, gives them a lot more length, and Kadari Richmond when he comes in for Joe Girard.
What's their ceiling? What's their ceiling? Because let's be honest, I'll be fair. I think Syracuse can win this game. They should win this game if they play their best game. My question is what their ceiling. You're going through it, and I love the breakdown. What is their ceiling? If they play their best throughout the entire, do you think they have what it takes to make the Elite Eight? Do you think? I mean, let's pull up the bracket.
I was going to say, I'll tell you right now. I know a little bit how the bracket breaks down. If the Cards,
down there,
they're in the Illinois bracket, I believe. Like Oklahoma State.
They're over here. I know it's a little bit blurry.
Break it down. So I think that if the Cards fall right, if they get to the next round, I think Morehead State might have a chance in the 3-14 games. And I know we all mentioned that we would potentially be on Morehead State spread if we were betting it. But for our brackets, we obviously pick West Virginia. I think they have a chance against West Virginia, honestly, as well. And if the bracket falls correctly, I think Rutgers advances today. So does Houston. Rutgers upsets Houston.
Yeah,
and I think we got a little revenge on Rutgers. We played them earlier this year. We were a little banged up. We didn't have our rotation that we have now. And I think we win that game. And I think our ceiling is the Elite Eight. I think we would go down there to an Illinois or an Oklahoma State team.
You never know, though.
The Elite Eight there.
But again, let's say you face Illinois, right? Illinois. When was the last time Illinois faced the zone?
Kofi Coburn would kill us.
Yeah, you guys would get to Stewart. You think he'd go to man then?
Well, here's the thing. Michael Hannigan is a great point. I mean, he says, okay, he's on the same boat as me. And does he go to Syracuse as well?
Yeah.
Yes.
All these guys in the chat.
Oh, so they're real.
I like this because he hops in and he says Syracuse has what it takes to win tonight, but they definitely don't have what it takes to beat West Virginia.
Yeah, thanks, Ken Palm out there.
He knows. I think he's on to something. I think whoever comes out of the Rutgers Clemson is going to go to the Elite Eight.
Dan, all I'm saying is Arkansas plus 225 now.
What's the score of this game?
Have we met? Down 14 with 5 minutes left.
Oh my. Oh, but you know what's actually funny about that too, though, because think about it. Also, like Arkansas. Like, yeah, they were good this year, but at the end of the day, it's still Arkansas. Like, it's not everyone's all hype about Arkansas. Like, okay, when was the last time Arkansas was even decent? And now they're here, and you're playing a Colgate team. And I was making fun of Colgate. I said I just used their toothpaste, and now they're kicking the shit out of a Razorback.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be really interesting again because the narrative for the past 3 weeks or so has been that the favorite goes down and they come back.
Oh yeah, they'll storm back.
And I mean, Colgate is playing very well. They're shooting the 3-ball very well today as well. But I mean, it will be interesting because Arkansas really isn't scoring right now. And Colgate is
16 to 2 run.
A lot of these unders have been hitting, which we talked about a little bit outside of the Michigan State UCLA game. Again, that covered in regulation, but they went to OT. Absolute heartbreaker for me. But I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see how they try to. Oh wow, that's a big call with the charge.
This Arkansas coach everyone thinks Izzo's, crazy out of his mind. I've seen this Arkansas coach get fired up. He's a little nuts. I'm sure the halftime speech is not going to be pleasant at all.
I'll be honest. I really just don't like Arkansas. I took them today. I know you know this. We talked about it right before we hopped on. I took Colgate money line today. I think Colgate is just a team that, again, like you said, they don't play the same caliber of talent as Arkansas, but they show up. I mean, they could score, and that was one thing that I noticed. I mean, when we were looking through the bracket last night, I like the fact they could freaking score. I mean, they put like 78 points a game or something nuts here. Let me flip that back. Sorry about that. We're here. I just was trying to break down the bracket as well. But yeah, I mean, talking about Arkansas in this one, currently trail by 14 points.
That's bad.
Is it starting to get to a point where they're slipping away?
I don't think so. There's still 5 minutes left in the first half. They can score. Their SEC has been a very high scoring conference all year. They're a team that can run. They have a lot of great players. Miles Moody will get it going. Jayshawn Tate. I mean, there's still plenty of time to go in this game. I wouldn't consider them out of it whatsoever. Even if this game is a 10-point game at half, they're very much still in it. The score, I don't think will really matter. If they're down double digits with 10 minutes left, that's when I start to get a little worried if I in big on Arkansas.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's people out there with a lot of money that went big on Arkansas.
Probably,
I'm sure.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing to note as well, I mean, just looking at some of the stats from the box score in this Colgate Arkansas game, they're shooting 28% from the field, 22% from three. Obviously, way less than ideal. I mean, that's going to be something that's obviously going to come up over time, but also another thing, 6 turnovers. Really got to start taking care of the ball, and that's, I think, one way that the leads start to inflate a little bit there.
Yeah, and it's the lazy stuff.
Right, and as you mentioned, Andy, you're looking for Moody to come back and really turn this team around. He just picked up his second foul, so he just went to the bench, which is
there you go.
Which is a key player for them. So,
I mean, yeah, if I'm Arkansas, you can't let this get to, I don't know, 7. You can't let this get closer to 20.
You got to turn it around now. But I will say this, as Frank's kind of touching on here, they're only shooting 20% from the field. If they turned it around, they could turn it around kind of quickly. Fine. If you shoot even 50% or 40% for a short stratch, you can turn it again around.
Yeah. And how many 16 to 2 runs are Colgate going to go on?
Defensively, Colgate's got almost 35 points on them in the first half.
So,
there's still some time left.
Again, we're looking for people to call. One more time, I'm going to throw the number out here. The number is 1-800-387-6355. Call right now. Call now. We're looking to get a live caller on air. And again, some of these Syracuse boys, I kind of want to get you guys on to talk about tonight.
You got to be there.
A big game tonight.
What's the number? I'll type it in the chat so they can see
it there.
Because that might be easier.
It is 1-800-387-6355. And again, before I'm going to take a moment here just to remind everyone that the Pick Vault is for entertainment purposes only. The Pick Vault is for entertainment purposes only.
The following media content is for entertainment purposes only and should not be used for the purpose of in-person or online, legal or illegal sports wagering or gambling of any kind. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. By continuing to watch this media content, you're accepting the Pick Vault LLC's terms of use, terms of conditions, and privacy policy located at www.thepickvault.com.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking for, maybe
Michael Hannigan.
I kind of want to get him. He's got some energy behind him, and we're looking for a call. Like I said,
I need energy.
1-800-387-6355. We're watching both games,
got some energy.
And we're looking for live action. Let us know who you're betting on. I mean, throw in the group chat right now.
Illinois Drexel did start as well. It's on actually this main screen.
Perfect.
They're up 1 right now.
Throw in this chat right now in the side. What is your play of the day? What is your play of the day? And we'll obviously keep throwing in Pick Vault plays of the day, as well as live plays that we're throwing on right now. But throw in your play of the day right now. So put that out there for everyone.
Ooh, play of the day. I'm actually thinking of myself. What's the play of the day?
Sturko had Utah State plus 4.5.
Dude, I think wait, Matt, you had Texas Tech plus 3.5. You said right in an alternate. So I for some reason I think just because it's Texas Tech, like that's going to be a very. Is he hurt right now? That's not good. Ayo Desamu was hurt.
Ayo got hurt.
That's no bueno.
No, he just looks a little tired.
He looks gassed.
Io.
I don't know, dude. I
think he's okay.
I mean, this is
captain.
To be honest with you, this is it right here. This is the bracket buster game right here. If Drexel somehow figure out the way to beat Illinois, everyone's in big trouble. I don't know how far you guys have them. I'm just saying, I'm just saying out there in general. I don't think there's anyone that doesn't have Illinois probably winning this game.
Josh Radler's got March Madness fever.
Josh Radler?
It could just be COVID. You want to get that checked out?
They say it's allergies. I've had it for 2 weeks.
And so currently, like we said, we see an injury for Io, and again, a team that everyone's got going deep in this tournament. I mean, I got them going pretty much I think I got them going to the finals, actually, in my final bracket that I released. And I could pull that one up there as well. Because I do want to talk about our picks while we're on air. I mean, we're going to be on air, again, breaking down the games. One time for everyone out there, I'm going to give a quick score check. We've got Virginia Tech leading Florida 33-30 with 18 to go in the second half, 18 to go in that game. First real game of the tournament. And then we got Colgate leading by 10 points, 33-23, with 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the first half. A lot of time to go in that one. Don't forget it. And then we're watching this one here. And Drexel currently trails Illinois 8-11 or 11-8 with 12 minutes to go in the first. And the breaking news out of this one is that Io is hurt. So again, so we're watching this one and we're looking for callers. So
I'm working on it.
Jake Rizzone. He wants to know who we like in the Oklahoma-Missouri game.
I'm all over Missouri. And again, I went back and forth. Missouri doesn't have the same kind of experience against, excellent or top 25 competition. That's what I like. That's the stat that I like the best, when I was making my bracket, is looking at teams that have played against those top 25 teams. They haven't played the same amount of opportunities, and they haven't lost as many opportunities as we see from Oklahoma. And Oklahoma's a team, and I know you guys know this from just sitting next to me and talking to me even off air. Sorry if my mom said, I fucking hate when teams can't shoot free throws, when they turn the ball over down the stretch, when they make mistakes, and all of a sudden when they lose the game themselves. And I think Oklahoma is one of those teams that they will lose the game for you if you bet on Oklahoma. And I'd rather have a team like Missouri, who I trust making free throws.
Yeah, I fucking hate Oklahoma too. I hope my mom is in the chat and she heard that.
Petrillos,
Mom, go with Missouri.
Purdue to start going Radler high on the professional.
Dude, I think Purdue can make a run. I don't know why. I just think whoever has big bodies this year and all you need is you kind of need two dominant guards, but if you just have one big guy and a dominant guard, you could make an easy run in this tournament. You need the big guy, though. You need the big guy.
So Josh Radler's asking, he said that he's pretty high on Purdue, and he wants to know what Shoeless Petrillo's thoughts are on
Shoeless Petrillo.
So
I
guess
like
I
that.
gotta get myself a pair of shoes, but I like Purdue a lot, actually. This is a team, again, that always has the size. They lose Matt Harms. I mean, that's a tough loss, but again, we haven't seen him play incredibly well at BYU. I mean, he's been a big piece of that team, but they just breed 7-footers. That's just what they do. So I think size is a big aspect for them as well. And in particular, I mean, I also like their coach, Matt Painter, as well a lot. I think that he doesn't get a ton of credit because usually he's a guy that gets them into the tournament, but isn't a guy that has really done very much. And I think that this is a team that could definitely make a run as well. I mean, looking at sort of what the bracket looks like for them.
Pull it up for you.
Right, so we'll have it pulled up. They play North Texas in the first round. I think that should be a game that's pretty well in hand. And then again, they kind of get a softball with a depleted Villanova team without Colin Gillespie.
No scoring.
Think is just not quite the same. And I mean, we might see Winthrop come out of this. I mean, they're a good team, and I mean, the spread was down to, I think, 5.5 or 6.5. I kind of forget, but I mean, that could be a very big upset alert that I think everybody should be watching.
Yeah, no. So Purdue's a team, and I like talking about them. I want to pull up my bracket. I'm trying to figure out how to even get into that thing. Did you guys make a bracket in that group, by the way?
I tailed it. I tailed that bracket.
What does that mean?
I tailed your bracket. There's zero link.
Okay.
What?
I never got an email.
Did you get it?
I got it. Me and Frank both did one.
So Dan's email's down, which is we got to get the developer on that one. But so anyway, we're sitting here and we're like I said, we're watching these ball games, and one team that I want to talk about, and again we're touching on it now, is Purdue. You touch on it. Villanova, Dan. I know you love.
No. Time out. I don't love Villanova.
I want to say you
love him.
No, you love Jay Wright. You love the way he broke down his defense.
I did. All right. All I know, and to be honest with you, before I even heard Jay Wright speak, I was like, all right, we're so taking Winthrop. I saw what happened against Georgetown. My issue is it's going to be a close game probably, and I got to side with the team that could actually have a score or they know who to throw the ball to. Because when they played Georgetown, no one knew what was going on. Archie Diacono couldn't really even shoot the ball. He just defends, really, and he protects the ball. I'll give him that. But I think the way Jay Wright on national television with Chuck and all the guys, Ernie, he literally said, my team, this is the worst defensive Villanova team I've ever had in my life. That's got to light a fire under their ass somewhat. I think they're going through. They will beat Winthrop. I feel like a lot of people are going to be all over Winthrop.
So hold on. We got Dylan Blackman now.
Oh, God.
Dylan,
TB.
give me a call on my personal number. You didn't have to call the pickball number, but give me a call on my personal number, and we'll get you on air right now. I want to get your take on some of these games as well. We're looking for callers throughout the course of the day. Again, for everyone out there, if you're just joining, because we are getting new people, and we see Nick Gockel is now in. He said USC's making an Elite Eight run.
Okay, Mobley.
Gockel, I like where your mind's at, honestly.
And we're seeing people join in left and right. Andy's talking about Kansas. So, Dylan, give me a call on my number, and we'll get you on air. We're watching this game live. Illinois currently leads 15-8 with 10 to
Here
go
comes Arkansas.
in the first half of this one. So, one question I want to get across the board, and I'll pull up the pickball bracket as well here for this question. What do you guys have tonight in the North Carolina-Wisconsin game? I don't know if this game's tonight. Actually, maybe tomorrow. But this was a tough one for me because I really, really, really like Roy Williams. I really like the team that he, in the way they're playing. But to lose the way they lost some of those games throughout the course of the season, not show up some nights and then show up other nights, do you think they have what it takes to win this one? Do you see them winning tonight? Who you got in the Wisconsin UNC?
I'm personally on UNC. I think that Wisconsin's been on kind of a bad run recently. They've been in a team, and teams have been eating on each other, beating each other up. So I know it's been a tough conference. So it's been a difficult conference season for them. Struggled in the Big Ten tournament to even get by Penn State, and then losing in the next round. But I think it might have been like Michigan or someone, but got killed. Doesn't matter. But I just don't see them going very far. Besides Demetric Trice, score Potters with shooting ability, Reaver's shooting ability. They both have struggled to shoot at the end of the year, 2 year senior leaders. So that's always never a good thing. Davidson's going to have a huge game if they want a chance. But I think UNC's trees down low are just too much for Wisconsin to handle. Roy Williams, fun fact, 29-0 in the first round. And they are playing at the arena tonight where Wisconsin is 4-42 all time.
Ooh, I like
little
that.
Fun tidbits and nuggets for you guys behind that game tonight.
I'm not meaning to cut you off, but we have our first caller calling in. So here we go. We got a caller calling in here.
Who is it? Is it Dell?
We got Dill.
Dale, are you here? Oh, hold on 1 second. Hold on. Let me. You there?
I'm here.
All right.
Dill, what's going on, man?
Oh.
Welcome to the pickle. Obviously, we're sitting here. We got Andy, Frank, myself, and Dan, and we're sitting here watching these ball games. I saw you were commenting, and we're happy you called in. Who you got winning your bracket? Let's start there. Let's start with that one. Who you got winning the whole thing, your entire bracket?
Obviously I made a couple, but like the one I put money on at all, I got Illinois.
Ooh, I like that. Are you worried about them in Drexel right now?
No.
They look a little shaky right now.
Kofi, I know it's not Coburn, but I like calling him Cockburn,
Yeah, that's honestly that I spell his name like that. I actually thought that was his name.
So, I got he's just a grown man playing against boys.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, dang. I like them too. I mean, Illinois is a team I got running deep in the tournament. I'm going to pull up the pickball bracket one more time here again for everyone out there. And if you guys want to have questions for Dylan, because he's calling in. Dill, are you watching this game currently, this Virginia Tech Florida game?
I have that game on.
Who you got there? I know you're all over Colgate, and they were looking good, but hey, Arkansas made a little. Arkansas made a little bit of a run. They made a little bit of a run right now. I think Arkansas might take the lead right now.
Hey, I hit the live line. We're covered on all angles.
That's good. I like that. It's very good. So can you can't hear? Oh, you can't hear him. That's fine.
Hear you, Dill. We've been having a little trouble with the headsets. And mine. So we can't even hear you right now. But I hope you're doing well, brother, and you're staying safe out there in the craziness of this world. So
you got it, dude.
He said
you got it.
Yeah, he said he loves you.
All right, so Dill, one more question before we, we'll have you call in later tonight. But I want to talk about this Syracuse game tonight because there's a lot of Syracuse kids in this, or Syracuse guys in this live stream currently. Break down, your take on the Syracuse game tonight, and talking about, who you got, because I go back and forth. I mean, Syracuse is another one of those teams that either shows up or doesn't show up. And when they show up, they have what it takes. When they shoot, they have what it takes to win games. When they shoot, they have what it takes to blow out the best teams in the country. And then obviously when they don't show up, they could lose any game to anyone by 15, 20 points. I mean, this is a team. They have a high ceiling and a very, very low floor.
Yeah, I agree. But I just think that them playing in March is just a different team. I feel like Jim's got them on where they need to be always in March, and they're always a dangerous team when it comes to this tournament.
Fair enough. We talk about Jim Boeheim a lot actually for different reasons, and we won't bring it up. Unfortunately, Frank can't hear us right now.
Yeah, but I wish I could hear the call.
Jim Boeheim.
All I'm gonna say is, Frank, is that you're the star of the chat right now.
Yes.
Everyone just keeps asking for your shoes.
For shoeless Frank. But yeah, but for the most part, Dill, yeah. I mean, so if you had to pick, if I said right now,
I don't think he could ever wear shoes.
I think if Syracuse is losing at halftime, you go barefoot.
Oh God, Rattler, please. Come on, man.
But Dill, thank you a lot for calling. I appreciate it like always. And you're gonna have to call again later. I think when this Syracuse game is on, you're gonna go nuts. I'm telling you.
You got it.
But I appreciate it, man, and I hope to see you soon. Obviously, March is crazy, so when it's all over, I'm sure we'll get together and get a little nuts.
So, Dylan, before you hop off, I just want to ask you one question because I'm somebody, and I'm only doing this because we got people asking about it. And so my question to you is, I'm a reasonable person, so I'm a fact-first guy. Jim Boeheim, would you consider him a murderer?
Yes.
Or not?
Oh my God.
You say a murderer?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so he had the whole running over somebody, and again,
It's an incident.
All for people making mistakes and everything, but he got no flack for that at all. I mean, that's one thing I will say. He got really.
It was swept right under that snowy road.
I mean, it was one of those things.
Him and Tony Stewart. Tony Stewart ran over that guy. Pretty much, I think it was like a month or two after. Tony Stewart ran over somebody, and I'm sure that's going to haunt him tonight, and that's why I'm going with San Diego State.
I mean, it could haunt him.
You do you that.
It doesn't, because we need him focused and locked in.
Oh
The
God.
circle says that he swerved. He swerved.
I mean, also just saying he was walking down the middle of a freeway. Not to defend him, just facts for.
What do the Syracuse guys have to say about that?
Standing O at the first home game.
I know it's wild.
He did, yes.
Jim Boeheim's a great guy, to be honest with you. I actually
Jill, the whole family, very nice people. Buddy, obviously, without Buddy, you guys would be in big trouble. So you could thank Jim.
Buddy's another guy too. You guys love Buddy, right?
Yeah, he's not a murderer.
He's a good guy. Wild.
Yeah, that was wild.
Anyway, sorry, did you want to finish your question, or did I interrupt?
No,
Did I throw you off that he's not a murderer?
Just in general, you threw me off, bringing up that menace.
Jimmy Peters wants us to talk games, not trash.
I agree.
Sorry, Jimmy.
So anyway, we're sitting here, we're watching, like I said, 42-36. Virginia Tech leads over Florida. 15 to go in this one. And again, Florida's kind of stuck around
Always
for
will.
the most part.
It's going to be...
Virginia Tech keeps responding. I mean, so they got 44 points early. What was the over-under this one again?
135.
Dan, what'd you say,
135. I could check the lot.
Kansas with the 3-point lead going into half.
I could check the... Who'd you say is a 3-point lead going?
Kansas.
Oh, I thought you said Kansas.
Kansas.
I'm like, dude, Kansas plays tomorrow. Cormac's back, by the way.
They are the real Kansas. Kansas.
Maddie, I'm going to check the live over for you.
Hey now, Hannigan. Hey, go off, kid.
153 now. Oh, wait, no, that's Arkansas. That's the Colgate game. I apologize. 134.5. It's still right there.
Yeah, still right there. I mean, it is obviously interesting to see, though. I mean, Arkansas went on that run at the end there. And
it was 33-19. It was 33-19. Now it is 19. Or now it's 36-33.
Well, yeah, because like I said before, they were worried about Muscle Man in the locker room. He'll probably still freak out. At least they have a lead now.
Because they could have been doing this to this team this whole time.
Oh, 100%. Well, I mean, I'm interested to see. I don't think Colgate's just going to, tap out. I hope not, at least. I got to see who else is. I feel like there's so many games on thread.
Rattler goes. Is Jimmy Peters Boeheim's burner account?
His.
Oh, wow. You guys are wild in the group chat. I love it. We need to get more callers. Like I said, you got the number in there. It's out there. Let's talk about some of the games and who you got going deep in the tournament. I know we're talking, back and forth about a lot of this stuff, but again, follow us here on Instagram. I know some of you guys have us on Instagram, but it means a lot. Obviously, at the Pick Vault on Instagram, or just go download the app right now. It's on the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Go to www.thepickvault.com and subscribe. Wow, that was fun. Again, like I said, for picks, player props, and score projections for every single game across the board for less than $1 a day. Download the Pick Vault now. Or follow us on Pick Vault. So at the Pick Vault on Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, as much as there's March Madness on all day, you don't want to miss out on the late night NHL. It's the best.
I mean,
the best.
We don't miss for NHL.
We don't miss the NHL.
NHL has been on fire. I will say.
I'm gonna have to by the end of the live stream, we'll have the best NHL bet. Too much college basketball.
Yeah, Dan, you've been locked.
You gotta switch. You gotta
like,
switch up the mind a little bit.
You just go, yeah, this is the hockey lock of day. It's a dog every time.
Dog every time.
Really bet the NHL. You're like, throw a couple beans there. I'm like, all right, cool. And I wake up every morning a happy man.
Yeah, listen, that's all I want. Everyone to be happy, and I would be even happy. I guess for you guys to be happy, Virginia Tech needs to win the game. Oh, Payne is playing.
Dan, to answer your question from earlier, Omar.
Tremendous. That's massive. I mean, not for you guys.
I think we got a caller. Hold on.
Oh, really?
Hi, this is.
I threw in my group chat of my group with my fraternity brothers and our sports.
Never just called. Try calling one more time. That was on me. I didn't see the call was coming in. But again, we're here, and the number is, Dan, one more time. Throw it out there.
1-800-387-6355. One more time. 1-800-387-6355. And for all those Syracuse guys out there, later on tonight, if you want to make the number 1-800-837-6355, you will find yourself a treat. I was a little surprised last night, a little freaked out. I thought it was the Pick Vault number, but it was not. So one more time, it is 1-800-387-6355.
Perfect. So now we're watching this one. I mean, we are going down the stretch in the Florida game. Florida versus Virginia Tech. 13 minutes to go. You think Virginia Tech holds on, or do you think we're going to see Florida kind of make a comeback? We've seen comebacks throughout the whole tournament.
And I was going to say, too, I mean, we talked about it earlier. Florida is, I would say, the one team that likes to come back early, come back late. They don't like to start off hot early. Trey Mann, my guy right here, if he hits a three, that needs to go in. He's a kid that usually could take over a game, usually in the second half. But right now, obviously, I think their defense is what's lacking. They just can't seem to get a stop. I didn't know Virginia Tech could really score like this.
Virginia Tech, Matt mentioned the stat the other day, and I thought it was a very good stat that made me want to be all over them. 4-0 on against top 25 teams this year. So they've clearly done well against the best of the best competition. But we might have an injury here.
Oh, a lot of blood on the floor.
What is going on? Is that his eye?
He took a fat elbow to the face.
Was it an elbow or the ball?
Oh, God.
Oh.
Where's he bleeding?
We're gonna have to go to a commercial break.
Maybe we show that. I hope he's all right. We need to win a basketball game. I'd say.
He definitely broke his nose. So some guy in Florida, who is it? I can't even see.
Appleby, yeah. An apple a day will not keep the doctor away.
Best player, Luma.
Perfect. Oh, not actually perfect. I'm sorry. Dude, this kid's definitely like concussed everything.
He just caught a forearm shiver to the forehead.
That sucks. Yeah, there was so much blood on the. They literally just. It was like UFC fight that you flash over. There's just blood like everywhere.
He's gonna pull up. Concussed. He looks.
They better. Yeah, well, he got hit like kind of right in like the dome, like right
shout
here.
Shout out Keontae Johnson helping him out.
Yeah, I like that. He's like, nah. Oh.
Yeah, he can't even stand right now.
Oh my God, that's not good. Yeah, he's definitely.
Like, who said that was UFC? Was that Dan or Frank?
So all right, let's take a second here. Obviously, we're going to keep talking about these games. Let's take a second here and kind of talk about our personal brackets. Now, Dan, I know you and I are kind of doing this one together because you didn't have time to get your bracket in. But let's start. We're going to go on Andy's bracket first, and we're going to give Andy a second. Kind of talk about each matchup that you. Where is it? There we go. Each matchup that you kind of. Oh shit! Did you fill it out?
Me?
Yeah.
I should have. Oh, what the hell?
It says Baylor's is champion, though.
Yeah, it says I submitted all my picks. Yeah, it's good.
Where are they?
Oh, Texas Tech, Utah State started. Texas Tech up 5-0.
Where do I hit?
I have all my picks if you want me to share them.
Well, I'm just going to put it on the screen.
Oh, okay, yeah.
If that's fine.
Yeah, it's just
They should be like in gray, who I have.
Hold on, what? You guys are both one person at
literally
Sorry.
gray on top of like the next round, like on in the bracket.
Hope everyone's enjoying this nice music in the background.
Bracket.
Texas Tech up 5-2 over Utah State right now. Illinois beating Drexel 25-17.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I got you.
Arkansas up 3 at half.
All right, so Andy, kind of break down your bracket here. Let's start in the West, kind of talk about what you got. Obviously, you got Gonzaga and Oklahoma. Kind of go through it in the West.
Yeah, so in the West right now, first round matchup, I've got Gonzaga rolling through. I think most people do. I won't talk much there. I'm personally on Oklahoma. I know, Razone, you asked about Oklahoma, Missouri. I think that Reeves at guard, I think him versus Drew Smith's going to be a major key matchup. But I Harmon as well, Gibson, I think a couple other guards, and then having Manick as a big man inside to deal with Tillman, I think is a big thing, and I think it's going to be an offensive battle, and I think it's going to be as close as advertised, but I do think that the Oklahoma team that we saw earlier this year will show up, as I think the SEC is a little bit of a weaker conference. I think Missouri is in that kind of second tier of teams in the SEC this year that aren't as good as people think. So then in the next game, I'm going to have Creighton going on against the Gauchos. I think the Gauchos are very good, underrated team. It's going to be a great 5-12 matchup, but I think Creighton gets by. He's felt terrible about what went on campus and the situation in the locker room. So I think they fight for him, get to the next round. I have an upset in the 4-13. I have Ohio.
Hey,
India is coming in to Indianapolis today for their game on travel time. We don't know who the player or players had COVID, so they've kept that kind of in wraps. I'm sure if it was a big-time player, they would have announced it, so I'm not thinking it's that one. But Ohio has a very good guard in Jason Preston. Guy scored 56 in high school and didn't even have a single D1 scholarship. Got noticed from that. Now he plays at Ohio, and he's their best. And they have a couple other guys in the roster as well. Solid defensive team. I think they pull up the upset.
yeah, sorry.
Then I'm rolling with USC over Drake. I've got Kansas over EW, and then I'm pulling Oregon over VCU. I think Oregon has a lot of leadership in Duarte and Eugene Omaruri, so I think they get through a tough matchup against the A10 Player of the Year, Bones Highland. And then Iowa, I think, over Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon is no slouch, I will say that. I think that they will be competitive with Iowa, but I think Luka Garza and the guys are too much, obviously. Do you want me to just go through all my whole bracket?
West. Andy's got Gonzaga, Oklahoma, Creighton, Ohio, USC, Kansas, Oregon, and Iowa moving on to the next round. And so, Frank, we're going to go to your bracket now and kind of, give it a second.
Dive into it.
Talk about for Pickball Nation your west side of the bracket, and I'm going to pull it up here for you. Here you go. The west side of the bracket is up.
So I think that I basically have everything that Andy had. I'm pretty sure I was relatively chalk here. I think single pick, but the only one I had was Virginia. I think that, yes, they're going to have the difficulties of traveling, but again, they are one of the best defensive teams in the country, and I think that they will be able to show up. It'll definitely be a tough matchup, and I would definitely take the points on Ohio. Not sure exactly what that line looks like as of now, and again, that game tomorrow with Virginia traveling there today. So I definitely think that's an issue, but I think they're a team that's going to show up again with good coaching and leadership through there. And again, I think that they have a lot of difference makers on that team, and I think that it'll probably just be too much for Ohio. But besides that, I'm the same with Andy. I have Gonzaga, obviously like everybody else should. Oklahoma, Creighton beating UCSB, Virginia, USC over Drake, Kansas over Eastern Washington, Oregon over VCU, and Iowa over Grand Canyon.
Definitely. I mean, I think I'm kind of
I was going to say
in a similar bout there. I'm going to pull mine up here. I got Missouri. Like I said, I know that question was thrown out there earlier today. I got Missouri taking on Gonzaga in the second round. And I do think Creighton is better than UCSB. And just everyone out there, this is going to be a close game. One thing I'd consider, I know Andy, you and I talked about it for a long time.
Yeah.
I would consider throwing a little bit on maybe UCSB plus points.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because a lot of times we see the 5-12 upset. We see the 5-12 upset, more often than not, actually, in the tournament throughout history. And so here, Creighton will move on, I believe. I think they just, are a better team top to bottom, but I would consider throwing on, UCSB with the points. Next up, I got Virginia beating Ohio. I think, Dan, I know you touched on
I low-key kind of I like Ohio with the points a lot. I do think probably at the end of the day, Virginia should go on. There's no reason they shouldn't, but I think it's going to be a good game. I really do.
Yeah, I think Virginia just, again, more tournament experience. I like the coach. I like their defense. I like their skill. I think they got the better players. I think they'll get on. They may not have the best player on the floor, but top to bottom, their roster's deep, their roster's strong, and I do like their coaching staff. They'll move on. Virginia moving on to the second round. Then we got USC. I think they're one of the better teams in the tournament. I think they have the potential to make a run in this tournament. They're one of those teams at the 6th spot that, after seeing Drake yesterday and watching them kind of, I don't want to say
fight it out,
look great,
yeah,
but they didn't look as good as I thought they were. So I think USC will move on, and I also think they'll beat Kansas in the next round, as you can see later on here.
I'm on that team.
Like
and then I got
so
Kansas beating Eastern Washington again. I think
so.
just tournament experience will go through. Tournament experience will get them there.
They'll make it a game for a little bit. I'm sure it's Kansas likes doing that.
Definitely. And then we got Oregon over VCU. This is one that took me a while to kind of pick. Again, in the chat, if you guys are in the chat here, throw in what you guys think about VCU and Oregon, because this was a matchup that took me a long time to go through. I eventually settled in on Oregon, and then as Andy and Frank both said, and I believe Dan's the same way, Iowa moving on to the next round. So now let's move down to the East, and I'm going to go again. Andy, you go first here. In the East,
first round matchups.
Yes.
I think, as everyone does, Michigan winning that first one. I think this is one of the most underseeded teams in the bracket, number 8, LSU.
Agreed.
I have them rolling into the next round as well. I think, don't get me wrong, Bonnie's upstate New York team, seen them a lot. I think that they're a very good team. They're very well coached by Mark Schmidt. He might be moving on to a bigger, better job at BC potentially, or some other schools as well, higher level Power 5, because he's deserved it over his double-digit tenure at the Bonnies. But I think LSU is too offensive talented for them. And then I like this one has been one people write in the chat too, which you got Colorado, Georgetown. I'm a little torn on what to do because obviously Georgetown is coming off a massive run in the Big East tournament, and they're hot at the right time. But it's tough to back a team that was under 500 going into their conference tournament. So I've been back and forth on this. In some brackets, I have Georgetown. In this one specifically, though, I do have Colorado. I think McKinley Wright can get it done, but I changed it up in the different brackets because I was a little bit confused. So I wasn't sure. The next one, I think Florida State rolls. I think they make a deep run. They didn't win their conference tourney. I think they're the best team from the ACC this year. I know as much as it pains me to say it, Syracuse, I love them so much and wish they were the best team. But Florida State, I think, is the best team, and they make a deep run. They get through here. UNCG will be a great game. I think it'll be close. Maybe look to take them on the underdog spread. The next one, I'm actually going to back UCLA. I know we've talked the past couple of days about this matchup, and if it was Michigan State, I'd be on Michigan State, I said. And if it was UCLA, I said BYU the other day. What I saw last night from UCLA was a team that's going to fight and give all they've got, and I think playing in that first 4 game was so beneficial for them that I think that they actually come out and take down a BYU team that we've seen, like Frank mentioned, against the Zags. Got super hot in the first half and shot 75%, but then they ended up still losing by double digits in the second half because they went kind of cold. So they're a hot and cold kind of team. So I think you could see UCLA take advantage of that and advance here. I like Texas in another game, but
Love
I think
Texas.
Christian on the spread is a sneaky play for the day.
You just like them because of their name.
That's a tomorrow game. And then I'm on UConn big here.
Dude,
I think they can make a run potentially in some brackets. I actually have them going to the Sweet 16 and upsetting Bama, who I think gets through Iona easily.
Well, Ricky P, come on, Andy. Honestly, that one thing about that game, I must say, I feel like I got to sprinkle a little bit on. But I'll deal with the first half, maybe. Out of just respect.
Maybe Ricky P on the spread, just because he's a
legend. There's one thing between Rick Pitino and Jim Boeheim. Rick Pitino, he might have had strippers at the, got some recruits, did what he had to do. Didn't run anyone over though. So I'm going Ricky P and over Bama.
Jeez. All right, so here we go. And so I want to pull up again. I'm going to pull Frank your bracket here. Same kind of thing. I know you and Andy have a very similar bracket. I'm not going to say you guys colluded or anything. But
was there some behind the scenes
I feel like that's a result of having done so many brackets and you sort of go back and forth on games and teams. So I did have 2 upsets initially in the first 12 brackets I did with this region, but have since flipped back. And I'll get down to those in a minute as we cover them. But Michigan, I think they easily take Texas Southern. Again, they're a very solid team, even without Liberty. If it were Michigan State, that would be an 11 over a 6 matchup that I sort of liked. Again, I'm still sort of back and forth, and now obviously I can't change it. UCLA is a very solid team, and again, we saw last night they sort of came together and really played a pretty complete game. I mean, Michigan State was up.
The stream kind of everyone kind of popped out because of when we were like the connection kind of
Yeah, I started lagging too.
Yeah, Dill just said he's good. Yeah, he just texted
So I
me too. He said
closed
it's
it.
good now, but
All right, Dill's back.
Dill, write in the chat if it's good.
No, he said.
Oh, word. Thank you.
All right, where should I pick it up from? Then?
No, you're good. I'm sorry. I just was trying to get to so people could hear you because I know it went down a little bit
No, of course.
for a second there.
So I guess just recapping, I'll just go quickly over the top again, just with the teams that I had. Michigan, LSU over Bonnie's, Colorado over Georgetown. Again, tough game, but I flip-flop back to Colorado. Florida State as well with Andy. They make a run. And then we were down to the BYU-UCLA game. UCLA did put together a pretty complete game against a good Michigan State team. We're able to get that game to overtime and eventually win. But I think I'm going to go with BYU here. And a little bit of my reverse thinking of why they wouldn't be Michigan State is that they do have good size, and when the shooting is on, it's good. So I think that for those reasons, I'm going to take BYU, and I just have a feeling on that I had to flip back the other way after the Michigan State loss.
Fair enough. It's always tough picking those playing games, though. And we even talked about it last night. I feel like it's so tough, even just picking that game without seeing, like you said, your vision completely changed after watching the playing game yesterday. I think it matters so much. And I kind of wish too, I saw this on Twitter. Someone tweeted that I wish when you actually had to pick the playing game also for the tournament, you would have to pick that. Your bracket could be screwed before they even got there. They should go back to that.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down either way. It doesn't really matter. I think it gives people more time to fill out the bracket. For people that may be busy, that may not get it done. I think that's the reason they ended up doing it the way they did. And it also gives people, if you lose an early one.
I agree with that. But
that would suck. Yeah.
And so I want to pull up mine again on the west side. I know the east side. I know you just kind of finished, Frank, with your east. And so I have the same kind of thing. I mean, I got Michigan. I like LSU a lot in this round. I think St. Bonaventure's will give them a game early. I think it'll be scary at halftime. I think halftime it's going to be a close game, but then in the second half, I think LSU wins this game by double digits. So look for it to be a close game down the stretch in that LSU. I mean, in the first half, and then down the stretch, watch for LSU to pull away. And then over here, I do like Colorado. I think people are going to be extremely high on Georgetown, watching them play in the tournament. We talked about it, Patrick Ewing. There's going to be bettors that are betting on Georgetown, even though they are the underdog, and if people like the value of that team. And they do have the ability to win games. And the difference about Georgetown is they're actually a team that if they come out cold, they normally get hot later and end up, coming back. So if you can get them, maybe when they go down 10, down 20 points, if that were to happen at any point in the game, I would hop in and maybe take some points there because they're a team that does like to come back late and cover spreads, or at least live spreads, nonetheless. But I do like Colorado moving on. Florida State is a team that I got going deep in this tournament, so they're going to easily beat UNCG. Even though UNCG is a team that I like a lot, I think they can shoot the shit out of the ball. I think it's going to be one of those games, again, could be scary in the first half and second half kind of shift. Pausing my bracket for a second, currently the score is 50-49. 50-49, Virginia Tech leads over Florida, the 7-10 matchup. I'm on Virginia Tech. Andy's on Virginia Tech. Frank is on Florida, and Dan's on Florida. So 2-2 here at the pick vault, both directions here. So should be interesting. Back to my bracket, though. I got UCLA beating BYU. I don't know, Andy, were you on the same boat there?
Yes,
I agree with that. I like UCLA than my boys last night.
Seeing them last night, the way they fought back in that ball game, I was all over it. I thought it was kind of sick. I'm all over UCLA to beat BYU in the next round of the tournament. And then I got Texas. I think Texas is one of those teams people are kind of talking about. I don't think they're going to make it as far as people are hyping them up to make it as far. And Dan, you kind of touched on the stat yesterday.
Yeah, he's like Shaka Smart's 0-2 with Texas in the March Madness tournament. I like when I was kind of playing around with brackets. I agree. I like Texas going far. There's no reason that team shouldn't. That's probably one of the best Texas teams they've had in the past few years. There's no reason they shouldn't at least go to the Elite Eight. I even kind of had them going to a Final Four in a couple I was playing with. But again, I just don't know if they're going to come up clutch with Shaka Smart. He's starting to look a little too much like a chia pet for me. He's got to cut the hair. But yeah, I like them a lot though too.
Interesting. Now we're going personal attacks. So next up we got UConn and Maryland. And so my question is for everyone in the chat here, throw in maybe what your thoughts are on this ball game, because I've went back and forth for a while. Andy, I know we touched on it previously. You love both.
I'm in huge on UConn. I think every bracket, I don't even think I have Maryland winning in one. I've seen this Maryland team play this year. They're very inconsistent. They're a good team at home. They beat some of the better teams in the country. When they get you on the road, they suck. So neutral site, they haven't been great either. So I think that a team with James Bouknight, who is a potential lottery pick coming in the draft this year, I think that when he played, they were 11-3. The stats are there without him, 4-4. They are significantly better with him on the court. I think a 7 seed is a little underrated for them. And it's actually, I think, unfortunate for Alabama that they have to play UConn in the next round, because I think that's a very big chance of an upset there as well.
Good matchup.
And in our bracket in this side actually here, in this one that we made, I actually do have UConn going to the Elite Eight against, or is it the Elite Eight? No, it's that's Sweet 16, right?
Yeah.
Sweet 16, yeah, sorry, Sweet 16. I have them beating Bama.
So I went back and forth for a while with the UConn-Maryland matchup. I ended up closing in on UConn, and I do think UConn has what it takes if they do get hot to make a little bit of run. As you can see here, I do have them winning the next matchup against Alabama, because Alabama is one of those teams that, again, kind of is Jekyll and Hyde. They show up a lot. They're very, very good. Their ceiling's very, very high. They can score. They can win. They can play defense. But that series of events, all of those things coming together, seems to be less likely than not. And I do think UConn, with Bouknight on the floor, if they play one of their best games, head-to-head, Alabama plays their best game, UConn plays their best game. I'm taking UConn.
I don't know.
With you.
Absolutely. Fully agreed with that sentiment.
When you have a star like Bouknight, and he can put up the points the way he has been putting up points, he's a player that I love. And so I think they're going to move on to the next round and make a deep run. And obviously, the Alabama-Iona matchup, easy said and done. Even though I think UConn can beat Alabama, I think Alabama's got this one over Iona. It's just a matter of men amongst boys. Everyone's better on Alabama. I'm going with Alabama over Iona. So of the bracket so far, we went through the first half of the bracket. We'll go through the second half a little bit later in today's episode. But let's take a second and kind of just, talk about anything that you guys see in this tournament that could kind of be, room for conversation, because as we head down the stretch in this tournament, there's going to be things that happen that obviously people aren't expecting to happen, and so talk about any of the storylines you like. I'll start with Dan. Obviously, give me a storyline you want to follow throughout the course of the tournament, a team you want to follow, or you think that can make a run that should be fun. Break down one storyline that you like for this tournament.
I mean, I know I mentioned it kind of before, the one storyline that I'm going to follow and keep following, but I'm not going to have to follow it long, because as much as you guys think UConn, everyone thinks UConn's going to make like the deepest run. Like, actually, no, not UConn. I'm talking about Georgetown. Like Frank said, Georgetown showed up to the March Madness tournament with their own Big East trophy. I mean, listen, I don't fully agree with it. I don't know why they did it. I think it's a little childish, because listen, it's kind of like NFL. When this regular season's over, the playoffs are what matters. Yeah, you got there. That's what got you there. I'm happy for you. The way you got to the tournament, it was, a miracle, whatever. You're going to have to play some good teams right now. And Pat Ewing too, I don't like the way he thinks that he's just the man of MSG. I think he is, obviously he deserves it, but he talked about the security. I feel like there's a drama with that in itself. I'm going to follow Georgetown until they lose. And I think that's going to come in the first round. I don't think they have what it's got. It's going to be one of those games too. Yesterday, everyone was on Michigan State. Everyone's going to be on Georgetown. I do think everyone's going to be on UConn. So I do think Maryland make it a game, but I do love Bouknight. But yeah, the storyline I'm going to follow is probably Pat Ewing and Georgetown for sure.
To be honest with you, and I love that you chose them, because I do think they're an interesting story going to the tournament. But to be honest with you, I kind of like the fact that they brought their.
Do you like that they brought the trophy?
It's kind of like a championship fighter bringing one of their belts, trying to go for two belts. I mean, you're trying to get a double belt. And you walk in to show everyone, yeah, I'm the champion. And to be honest with you, throughout history, sometimes when a team gets hot in the Big East tournament and they make a run, they can win the tournament. We saw it with Kemba Walker and UConn. And all I'm saying is this team kind of has that same energy and getting hot at the right time. And I also like Patrick Ewing kind of bringing the fire for his team. I think he kind of went at the Knicks and Madison Square Garden facility. And to be honest with you, I think he should have. He was one of the best Knicks to ever play, and for people to even ask for his identification at all when he walks in that building is a disgrace.
COVID times, man.
It's like walking in your house, your own house. I mean, to be honest with you, if you walk into your house and you're the one that owns the home, and all of a sudden your wife looks at you and she's like, hey, I need your identification. I mean, it's just bullshit. So I kind of agree with him, and I do like that storyline heading into it. So I like that one. I'm going to go to Frank. Frank, next. Give me a storyline that you like and you want to follow throughout the course of this tournament, and one storyline that you think will be interesting to watch as the tournament progresses.
Right. So yeah, one storyline that I think that'll be very interesting is USC, and Andy talked about it a little bit, and I know that my boy Nick brought it up that he likes them going to the Elite Eight. And they have some interesting matchups, and it's going to be sort of a gauntlet for them, I think, to really make a solid run as we look at it. Against Drake in the first round, I think they easily take care of them, but immediately meet up with Kansas. That's going to be a tough matchup for them. I do have them coming out in most brackets in the pickball when I didn't, just to diversify a little bit. Again, Andy and I are a team, and Matt and Dan are a team, so looking for different ways to sort of maximize our points, between our two brackets, I guess you could say. But I do like them against Kansas in most brackets. I do love the Mobleys. They're, again, something I love about March Madness and stats and things like that is, one is offensive rebounding, which is why I love the UNC team. Again, they have some tough matchups as well, but also size. USC is the tallest team in the country. I think they look to utilize that, as well as the fact that their bigs are incredibly athletic, able to slash, drive, pass, shoot. So I think that they're a matchup nightmare for some teams. If they're able to get past Kansas, they will play Iowa. Again, that'll be another very interesting matchup because we've seen that Luka Garza struggles sometimes guarding bigs that are really geared offensively. And I think one of the main points, again, that not that Evan Mobley is built like Kobe Coburn, but I mean, he dominated.
Kobe Cockburn.
Yeah, he dominated him and really wore him out, and offensively just wasn't as much of a factor. Again, not the same level of physicality, I think, but a different skill set, which will be interesting to see how he'll guard them, as Luka Garza is a pretty slow defender and slow player in general. So they have an interesting route. I think they could really make a splash. I think they have a very talented team, but I mean, it'll be a tough road and I think a great journey to watch.
Yeah, so now we're watching this game here, and currently, like we said, Florida State was on a little bit of, Florida is on a little bit of a run. They actually come back and take the lead with 4 minutes, 48 seconds to go. Currently lead 53-52 with one shot here at the free throw line remaining. He missed the first of two. And so Florida, I mean, Dan, you've been on them from the start, and we're seeing this game over here to the right tightening up as Colgate leads 45-44 with 15 minutes to go in that one. I mean, we're seeing all these games starting to tighten up, and it's interesting because it's March. I mean, and that's what this whole thing's about. The whole tournament's about is people get obsessed with March Madness. Why? Because everything's entertaining. I mean, it's like a soap opera. It's like a series or a season of your favorite show, where every episode somebody's dying. I mean, definitely. To be honest, that's literally.
And there's always another episode, always, and just ready to roll. I mean, and like you said too, it's great. I mean, at some point, I mean, look at this right here: a 14 seed and a 3 seed. I mean, it's a close game right now. They could pull away, but it was entertaining for a little while. And this Florida Virginia Tech game, I mean, first game of the tournament officially. This game is going to come down to a buzzer beater, no doubt in my mind. The spread was one.
Pull away over here. I mean, they took the lead by a little bit, and all of a sudden Colgate went on a 9-0 run.
They went on another run.
Florida,
Colgate's been going on
a buzzer beater.
Oh, definitely. I think it's been very close.
Well, again, the spread was 1, and they're going to be right on the money with it. Florida +1. It was -1. Again, another one of those line changes. I know we freaked out about it yesterday with the Drake game, but again, you guys, do you have VT money line or points? Any of you?
Talking to me?
Any of you?
Pick 'em. That's what I got the spread out a couple days ago. I locked in some stuff early.
Interesting.
I got them +7. I put them in a 2-legger, and I got them +7. So I got them in Illinois.
You put them in the old Kofi Cockburn.
Yeah, I did. I did the old Dylan Blackman Kofi Cockburn special. And made it happen. So anyway, here we are. We got Colgate with the lead, 47-44. And so how big would it be if we see, and we're talking about it as if it's already going to happen, but how big would it be if Colgate pulls this one off? I know people were surprised that the pick vault was all over Colgate in the beginning. And so,
I mean, it's going to be the start of a bracket bust. That's the first big one. I mean, but then again, I kind of want to look up the percentage of how many people probably actually pick Colgate, because again, it's a team that came in.
Colgate was one of the biggest, most popular upsets.
Yeah, like again, I feel like so many people love them, and again, I kind of go back to it. And as much as I was always like Arkansas, again, they're the better team, but I was even thinking in my head again, it's Arkansas. Like it's just nothing crazy. What's the one kid's name? Moses Moody, right? He's the best player on the team, and if he's not showing up, this Colgate team obviously plays with a lot of dignity and a lot of pride. So I think if they can definitely pull off the upset here. I mean, they're definitely going to cover 8. Whoever is Colgate +8, I think is so fine. But again, you never know. There's still 14 minutes left in this game.
We saw them give up like a 20-0.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It could go either way. Who knows?
They're
Cool.
also 5 of 12 from the line. I know you guys hate Patriot League free throw shooting.
We do hate the free throw
Would love
shooting.
to hear you guys talk a little more about it.
What, the Patriot League free throw shooting? So
Yeah.
basically, we watch probably way too much. I mean, actually, Matt, I know this is like a very sore subject for you in the Patriot League and their free throw ability. So I could let you take the floor with that
To
one.
be honest, like I said, I just hate when teams lose the game for themselves, and I hate when refs take games away. And I think when you're talking about that type of basketball, those I don't want to say weaker conferences, but the conferences that just we aren't normally covering, because
Correct.
there's teams like Colgate that can get out of a conference and make a run. And I think we could see it today. I mean, to be honest, that's why we're seeing them compete here. But when you're talking about those conferences, I just see teams beat themselves, turning the ball over, making dumb mistakes, missing free throws. And like I mentioned, it comes down to just losing games for yourself. And so you hate to see it. So that's
Absolutely.
that's the only thing I hate about the weaker conferences. And I'll be honest, I'll call them weaker conferences.
No, they're definitely that's valid. You could definitely call them weaker conferences.
So Andy, I know we never got to touch on it, and I'll go to you here. But what was your storyline to follow, kind of throughout the course of March Madness and everything else?
I think one of my main storylines is to see how perennial #1 overall pick Cade Cunningham handles the spotlight. This is the stage for him. This is the time to show. He's been a one-man wrecking crew, kind of. Obviously, he has some good pieces around him, but he's been really the main focus for Oklahoma State. And they got a little underseeded, in my opinion, in this spot. Coming in as a 4 seed, they have a tough draw, but let's see what the kids got. Maybe they pull off some crazy upsets. I like them getting to the Sweet 16 at least. In our pick vault bracket, I actually spiced it up a little. I've got them going to the Final Four. I have them winning the Midwest. I have them upsetting Kofi and the boys. I think that they can get it done. Cade Cunningham's a star. I think they got a lot of pieces around Avery Anderson, Bryce Williams, the Boone brothers. I mean, you name it, Isaac Likely. They've got guys that can help them out. I just think that they're a little underrated. They're going to come in, play a little pissed off. They lost the Big 12 championship, which they probably should have won. They were the best team there. They lead the nation in quad 1 wins, I believe, or a second. So I just like the build of this team, and they're built for a run. So I'm excited to see what Cade Cunningham and his squad can do in March/April after not even supposed to be in the field. They were originally suspended from postseason play for recruiting violations, and they appealed it, and now they're playing. So they weren't expected to play. He didn't have to come to school. He could have went to the G League, could have decommitted, went somewhere else.
Jalen Johnson kind of deal.
Stick it out with his coach, Mike Boynton, and now they're here for the ride. Let's see what they got.
Well, you better stick it out for him. He probably gave that kid so much money to go to Oklahoma State.
Well, no, the thing was he offered him a scholarship first his freshman year of high school, and that was the thing that drew him to the guy. Maybe he gave him money.
A scholarship.
I believe his brother works as an assistant on the team as well, so that probably also
He
helped.
probably gave him a BMW, and he said, "Oh shit, you're only a freshman. Never mind. We're gonna have to wait a couple of years."
Yeah.
But no, I agree with you. I think Oklahoma State's definitely the team to look out for, because again, if they went and lost the first round, I would be like, that's probably the most disappointing thing you probably see so far in this March Madness tournament. I think it'd be pretty disappointing for Arkansas.
And Colgate takes a 5-point lead with 13:49 to go. And again, over here, not to cut you off, Dan.
No, you're fine.
That is a big time shot. Watch this play right here. That's big time right there. And one.
Look at him watch it and go into the basket. Yeah.
Went around the toilet bowl 3 or 4 times. Anyway, so going back to kind of what you were touching on there, I actually had them losing early in the tournament, and Andy, going back to Colburn and everything that let me see if I can pull my bracket here. I had them losing early in the tournament. I had them losing to, where is this?
I think they're.
Yeah, I had them losing in the first round. I'm sorry. Yeah, I had them losing in the first round to Liberty.
Yeah, you like Liberty.
I do like Liberty. That was one of my upsets that I wanted to highlight later. We'll highlight it tonight, though.
Oh, you do? Yeah. I'll see the pick vault likes Liberty a lot, too. I think they are in the simulation bracket as well.
Really?
Yeah, I think that it's Liberty. And I did the picks earlier this morning, too. I'm pretty positive it is Liberty. Just like this game had Colgate. I think these were the two. Those were the two like big upsets that we had.
I mean, I think what's so interesting, and especially as we look at it, and a lot of the games have been close and down to, the last couple shots, is that it's so hard for bookmakers and, the line, generators, the guys who set the lines in Las Vegas, how they value these teams, especially when teams have not played an equal number of games. And in this instance, Colgate is, 14-1 against a Razorback team. And I'm not sure of their record, but probably over 23, 24.
Oh yeah, the legit record, definitely.
In terms of valuing that, and as well the different conferences, because I mean, even still, Colgate only played 4 teams and played a 5th team in the tournament. So it's very interesting how teams are valued, especially over unders.
I agree.
Like we were highlighting at the beginning, how a lot of unders have been hitting. Again, I think that was at 134 or whatever at halftime. So it's not
135. I think.
Right. So the over in the Florida Virginia Tech game is probably not going to hit. And again, that would be 4 of the
Dan
first
did
5
say
games
overtime.
going under.
You want to talk on this one? I did know. Yeah. Last night I said overtime for
Yeah, you said
UCLA, Michigan
overtime.
State. I did say that. I got lucky though saying UCLA. I just did it because there was too many people on Michigan State.
Well, UCLA kind of was an interesting game last night. I mean, we talked about it. They were down 5 with like 48 seconds to go, and they ended up coming back and tying it up, sending the game to overtime. And again, that was a mistake. There was 2 or 3 mistakes by Michigan
State, yeah,
that we touched on, and those mistakes is what cost them the game. It wasn't really what I mean. Obviously, we saw UCLA play good enough to win or make a little bit of a comeback. Then they make the shots. Let's be honest. You have to show and make the big time shots for it to matter. But Michigan State turned the ball over, missed their free throws,
and that big one that again for the first time you watch a game and UCLA missed a free throw, and it actually helped them because they got the rebound, went up again, and then got an and one, and the kid hit it to go up 3. So that was really the deciding factor, like you're saying, the mistakes on them. If I'm Izzo was probably shitting himself when he saw that. You can't let a team board their own free throw.
See that pass? He just hiked it through his legs like a football to the guy for a 3 wide open.
Wait, that kid's not playing. The tall kid for Arkansas.
Hurt, maybe?
I don't know, dude.
He's one of their better players.
I was gonna say he's like their best player.
He got hurt in the SEC tournament.
I don't know.
Well,
that was bad. I don't like that.
We could lock in here. Let's lock into the
there's a minute.
Virginia
My bad.
Tech, Florida. No, nothing against it. Let's lock into the Virginia Tech Florida game. Let's bring you guys in here. For all you guys that are listening, I know 11 guys are in this chat currently. 11 people are in this chat. If you guys want to throw out questions, or obviously, like I said, we're looking for callers. Hop on at any point in time. But right now, we have a very good ball game. 1 minute, 49 seconds remaining in this one. Virginia Tech trails Florida now 57-59, 2-point differential here with 1 minute and 43 seconds to go. So let's lock in here and talk about this one. Florida came all the way back. And so, Andy, what are your thoughts on the way Florida's been playing specifically? And do you think we're going to see Virginia Tech maybe make a little bit up 1:30 to go?
Florida's really turned it up at the defensive end. They've been dropping it into number 12 there, and he's just been posting up, getting a lot of easy buckets inside. He's been going one-on-one, a lot of dream shakes, a lot of moves over the shoulder, right shoulder, left shoulder. Doesn't matter. He's been hitting shots. So Trey Mann's hit a couple big threes. Scotty Lewis as well, guys that Dan highlighted earlier as guys that needed to step up and have a big game for Florida today. And Virginia Tech just hasn't really hit many shots. I mean, they've been making free throws to get their points at this point. They haven't hit a bucket in a long time. So they're struggling massively at the offensive end right now. So I really honestly don't love our chances right now, Maddie, as much as I hate to say it.
Andy, honestly,
I got him +7, so I don't.
The thing is, though, about Florida, I said, like you kind of even mentioned there, I said they're either one of 3 guys really has to show up. I even said Scotty Lewis is an unbelievable player that doesn't really get to shine that much, but when he does play and play well, obviously we'd see what happens. But I mean, this is one player away from Florida losing this game of not scoring enough points, because that's usually what happens. Florida usually can't score enough. And right now, Virginia Tech, like you said, Andy, that is the problem.
They haven't hit a jumper or anything. They were stroking the ball in the first half. In the second half, they got off to a good start. And the past 5-10 minutes of the game, the score was 52-49. So they've scored 5 points since then.
Yeah,
it's been a long time.
And honestly, a weird stat too. And I was surprised because you even said when the injury happened, when Appleby got a concussion, broken nose, whatever it was, Florida went on. I saw it on the bottom of the screen, an 18 to like you said, 4 run when that kid left the game. Which usually, if one of the better players leaves, you think it would be the other way around. But maybe that was the kryptonite. Virginia Tech did them a favor there.
So in the group chat here, throw in, in the live chat, throw in who you guys think wins this game here with a minute to go. Try to get it in here. Throw in who you think.
What's the deal? Am I watching Virginia Tech live?
Florida currently leads 61-57. 1 minute, 9 seconds to go. Virginia Tech brings it in at the rim, and he gets swatted away, rejected, and Florida has the ball.
That's a kid, Castleton. What a game.
It's been dominating.
14 points, baby.
He's been huge.
Instead of
double.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong though. I've seen him play and he's been horrible before. Like lost. It's either
that was a huge block. I mean,
that was great. Nah, dude, he tipped it. That was ball, unfortunately.
Someone said VT better win or I'm jumping out your window. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
It's not worth it.
But if you do, let us
That's
watch.
Bailey. What's going on, Bailey? All the Q's guys showing up today. I really appreciate the support, fellas.
Oh, the Q's guys better be on later. That's
Yeah,
all.
I was
You
gonna
guys
say
better
that's
Be on later than I am,
Guys-
especially if I get a few drinks in me. It's a little interesting here.
Things are gonna get a little. Yeah, I mean things have already gotten a little nuts, but
61-57. He misses the first free throw. 105 remaining. Second free throw coming up.
Brandon, fuck Florida, bro.
And it's up and it's good. So now a 5-point Florida lead. 1:05. You don't have to foul. I mean, you don't got to shoot a three here. I mean, you bring it right to the rim, and you got plenty of time here. You just got to score quick. So Virginia Tech with the ball coming down, taking their damn time. They don't really care. They have no interest in winning this ball game. Looks like they filled out their brackets with Florida. Bring it to the rim, and he scores. 49
That's a big
seconds
one.
remaining in a 3-point game.
They're chilling.
19.3 differential on the shot clock. Here we go. We got people chatting in here. Look, Joe, I'm trying to. That's my bracket on the first game.
Brandon, you got Florida going all the way. What's the deal? You want to call in right now? You want to get on the phone, pal?
Yeah, you can come in, call in for the last, 35.
I won't be able to hear you.
44,
My headset
45
sucks.
seconds.
Not actually, but
We're gonna try to get it up
I'm just teasing.
for the Q's game.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll figure it out later. Everything looks good.
Good.
this is a beautiful song.
I'm trying to find where I wrote the number. Oh, here it is.
Dun, dun.
Arkansas takes the lead, by the way, 56-54 in that ball game as well.
Dude, I'm on Twitter right now. The sports book, Arkansas people that had the first half money line they went on a 17-0 run to hit it, and these guys were actually going crazy in the sports book. I think we got to make the old trip to the Hampshires, the Hamptons.
Oh yeah, when Brandon calls in later, he's gonna tell us. He told me he talked to me on the side. Not in here. He told us he's gonna tell us why Ohio State will be cutting down the Nets in a month.
Whoa.
He's a Buckeyes alum, so
Okay, well, all right. Then I guess Syracuse is even cut them
And
down.
I'll take a minute.
But you know, all I'm gonna say is he said throw 100 units on Ohio State money line against Clemson in the semifinal. He said it was a Max Whale lock.
A Max Whale lock. We're gonna harpoon it down.
After he tells me that, I'll hop on air and tell you guys why High Point women's basketball will win the female tournament because they're going up against UConn in the first round.
Yes.
Sounds like the upset of the day.
Oh my goodness! I'm sorry. Who is that?
His name's Brandon. He's talking in the chat.
Brandon. I don't know. I don't see Ohio State. They didn't impress me whatsoever.
What's his name? Who got hurt for Ohio State? Dwayne, right? Didn't Dwayne get
5
hurt?
seconds. Virginia Tech goal.
That again. Down the stretch.
Here we go.
You miss your free throws. Florida missed 1 of 2 the last time. They turned the ball over here. All of a sudden, 3-point game. Now Virginia Tech has the ball, and the door is freaking open.
We're here. We're live. 3 minutes. Only down 3.
It's
Florida could
March,
so
baby.
lose
I'm
this
so
game.
happy all these games are so close.
I love how it's a 1-point spread.
It's just
They're going to
simple.
need it.
It's just simple. I don't get it. It's simple. Don't turn the ball over. Make your free throws. You win games. I promise you. If you have good talent and you make the tournament with the talent you have, and you make your free throws and you don't turn it over, you'll be making a run in the tournament.
Brandon said Kyle Young is the guy that got hurt.
Oh, is Kyle?
Ohio
Yeah.
State should be back.
Is he back?
Protocol. That's it.
Because I know I didn't in the one Big Ten game. I didn't know if Kyle Young was playing. I think he ended up playing.
He got hurt in the Purdue game, and that's when they went on that big run, Purdue, with Trevion Williams, because they had no one. That Liddell wasn't big enough to stop him.
I mean, yeah. That's the guy right there. That's what it comes down to. If EJ Liddell has a good game, like Ohio State
Him
can
and Dwayne
cut down the
Washington
nets.
are
Yeah.
two guys. If they're going off, they're a great team. So.
We missed the call. I think it's from Vinny. What's Vinny's number?
I told Vinny downstairs to come up later tonight.
Vinny Soto. 50857. Oh, I shouldn't read that out loud.
Oh God. This
Here
is
you
gonna
go.
be an ugly 3 pull up for sure. Oh.
I
Okay.
kind of like that. I like that.
It's now a 1-point ball game, 62-61. Virginia Tech trails Florida with 29.7 seconds. You're going to have to foul or at least trap in the beginning here. You don't got to foul immediately, but you got to trap. And a timeout for Florida.
They're going to start getting nervous.
On that other possession.
Yeah, Florida really struggling here with the press again on the made basket. Virginia Tech really having the ability to set up that full court press with the 5-second call again for the turnover before, and then forcing the timeout again now.
So right now, if I said to you, I'll give you $100, all of you, who are you taking right now, Florida or Virginia Tech? I know there's money on the line already. Who's winning this game right now?
Probably taking Florida to hedge out.
I'm taking it all. I'm taking it all and then putting it all on Colgate because I think Colgate
Fair enough. That wasn't part of the question, but I could add that in as a option. Yeah, of course.
No,
You
to be
want
honest with
points?
you, I think there's a good shot Virginia Tech wins. I like the way they've been playing the last few since Andy said he didn't like our chances. I didn't like our chances at that point, to be honest with you.
It was a reverse jinx. Shut up.
Since that moment, I would say Virginia Tech has been playing great basketball.
For sure. So I want to ask Brandon too. Ohio State plays at 3:00. They're on in a half hour. The spread's -15 today. They're playing an Oral Roberts team that got hot in the Summit League as a 4 seed, went on a run, taking down the 1 and the 2 seed to win their title. You think Ohio State covers -15 today? -14.5 if I buy it down. Not sure if you're listening still. Answer in the chat, please, sir.
But if you are, dude, I mean, who knows? Oral Roberts might give him a game.
That's what I'm thinking. I think Oral Roberts can maybe give him a little bit of a run without Kyle Young today if he's still in protocol.
Ball's thrown in.
Foul,
And
maybe.
it's a foul, and it's going to be Florida going to the free throw
Here we
line.
go. Your favorite kind of ending.
Again, I'm going to say it here for everyone out there. The reason Virginia Tech will win this ball game is because Florida does not make free throws down the stretch.
You just foul him? That's horrible.
Ooh. They called a foul on that?
It's a weak call, but you know what? It doesn't hurt us that much.
Both teams.
I honestly always think Arkansas is in the red.
Yeah, both teams in the bonus as well, so it'll be 2.
Scotty, here's our Jersey repping right here.
Here comes a miss.
Oh, Scotty.
66.7% on the on the year from the free throw line, and the first one's up, and the first one's good.
Hey now.
Virginia Tech with a 2-point lead, 63-61 with 29.3 remaining.
Does he hit it?
On the other game, we got a 63-58 point lead, so 5-point lead for Arkansas over Colgate with 8 minutes to go. Second free throw up and second free throw good for Florida. It's now a 3-point ball game. 29.3 seconds remaining. Virginia Tech trails Florida by 3 points. Virginia Tech with the ball, bring the ball up the floor. 24 seconds remaining. This is March Madness. Virginia Tech bringing it to the rim, popping it out. 3-pointer up to tie, and it's no good. And it looks like Florida has what it takes to hold on, and a foul is called. 3-point lead for Florida. And Florida's heading to the free throw line to seal the deal.
Dill, that was a good one. Respect.
What'd he say?
He goes, damn, Matt, you know how to call a game. Did you take Bruce Beck's broadcasting camp?
Bruce Beck is, I love that guy. Great guy, for the most part.
He is a great guy.
I'll be honest, though. For the people that, never mind, one second.
What do you guys think about today? You guys here specifically, since besides Dill, I mean, Dill, you can answer this too, since you're kind of the only one active in the chat right now. We have 9 watching, obviously open to everyone else. Baylor today on the spread, -25 against Hartford. First time appearance in the NCAA tournament. What do we think? We think Baylor just clobbers them like Illinois is currently doing to Drexel?
Dude, I don't know, man.
I mean,
What's
Illinois
up?
went on
No,
a
yeah.
massive run too. I mean, that was a really close
25
Don't
is
miss
a
free
large
throws.
number.
What's up? That's fine.
I think
Once it's over.
that Illinois game, it was 21-16, and then I guess Illinois just went on a massive run up to halftime and as well at the break.
I will say I kind of am liking GT as well on the spread. That spread got way too damn high.
Yeah,
It's at 6.5 now, I believe.
Georgia Tech.
Yeah, it's at 6. I can get it at.
this guy, he doesn't look like he
Didn't
get free
look
throws.
last night, didn't Moses, right?
Yeah, he has COVID.
He has COVID. So he's not
Moses Wright's out.
Yeah.
Oh, Ramblers all day.
Yeah. I went through all my brackets and switched that over.
I didn't know
Georgia
that.
Tech was a team I liked a lot, and the line kept inching yesterday, and we were just kind of like, "What's going on?" And
That's why I kept asking you. We didn't. I guess that's good.
It was
that you told
late.
me that,
Yeah, it
since
was
they're
late.
Throwing on him right
The
now.
free throws up, and he misses
Yeah, I
the
told you.
first of 2.
Ooh,
And
this could get
the
interesting.
game is still alive. You got to make one here, and Florida has the opportunity again to seal the deal. I said it before. I'll say it again. You got to make your free throws, or the game could be up in the air. Virginia Tech has no timeout. 7.3 remaining. Second free throw up. Second free throw no good. The game's open. 3-point game.
Oh my God.
Virginia Tech with the ball coming down. 3-pointer up to tie. Go!
Oh my God.
From downtown.
Are you kidding me?
And I said it before.
The
I'll say it
Hokies.
again. You
The
make your free
Hokies.
throws, you win the game. You don't make the free throws, and all of a sudden,
That was
you're in
wet.
a shitty situation.
That was wet.
wow,
What a big time shot for Virginia Tech, and all of a sudden, we got a tie game with 1.4 remaining.
Dun, dun,
I'll tell you
dun,
what,
Fuck
man.
that. Let's go.
He had that same exact look on that previous possession that went off the side
Yeah.
of the iron there.
He wasn't missing
But
this one. Bailey, don't jump out the window yet, brother. He's trying to save you. An ACC rival is trying to save your life. You're on life support, but we're here.
I think I might need a drink, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I could. I am staying here now tonight, so I could definitely use a little something.
Yeah.
Chatty. I need some food.
Yeah, maybe a nice cold brew.
little tequila.
Oh, don't hurt me.
64-64, 1.7. They changed the clock from 1.4. They changed it up to 1.7, and a timeout here for Florida. And again, this game's probably going to overtime. Let's say it does go to overtime. I'll throw it to you, Andy. What is this stream about? Someone just asked what the stream's about. For whoever just asked that, the stream is about the Pick Vault. The Pick Vault is the premier predictive sports media platform and entertainment network. Follow us on Instagram right now. It's the perfect time for us to say this. Follow us on Instagram right now at the Pick Vault, or go to the website. Go to www.thepickvault.com right now, or go to the Apple App Store, the Google Play Store, and download our mobile application, the Pick Vault. For less than $1 a day, you'll get access to picks, player props, and score projections for every single game in the NBA, NHL, NFL, MLB, NCAA basketball, and NCAA football. Download it now. So, again, we're opening the floor here to anyone that wants to call in. We're looking for callers. So if you have any more questions, again, I don't want to botch your name here, but had many?
What's the name? What's the question?
I just want to know what the
what the big one.
And
we're going to OT of the Florida versus Virginia Tech game.
What a game, guys. What a first one to kick it off.
They really did choke that game away, though, Matt. I mean, you hit it right on the head.
Yeah, Matt, you were right on the head. Good call.
Can't close
I
out
will say
games.
right now, Texas Tech down at half by 3 to Utah State.
It's going to be a good one. Yeah,
I'm considering maybe I'm going to wait to see what the live line is, but maybe hit Texas Tech. I kind of like them to come back. I like them to win that game originally.
Yeah,
I can't believe
if he's
this
still
game's going
here,
overtime.
which I'm not sure he is, but Charlie Disturco did have Utah State plus 4.5.
I just want to wait until
He
OT's over.
did shout that out.
It could take far. It
Charlie,
could be
good
15
start
minutes.
the first half, but you play 2 halves for a reason, pal. So don't get too happy yet.
So, Pickball Nation, we're going to stay on here until the end of this ball game here. We are heading down the stretch. I think this game's heading down the stretch as well. 7 minutes, 21 seconds to go in the Colgate versus Arkansas game, and we're heading to overtime between Florida and Virginia Tech. So, again, if you guys obviously get ready for tonight, because the big game that we're going to be highlighting tonight will be the 9 o'clock, 9:40 game start time. I know it's late. Grab yourself a beer. And whatever other festivities, whatever your festivities
doing on
are,
Friday night.
Get ready to have a night. It's Friday, and we got action across the board. We're going to watch. We're going to sit here and watch San Diego State take down Syracuse in the first round. And so, everyone, we want to get callers on and stuff. So everyone tonight, get ready to hop on and really dive into that action.
It should be a good one.
Yeah, no, it should be really exciting, and me and Andy will hopefully have a bunch of the Syracuse guys in the stream, so it'll be great to interact with them and maybe get some callers on 2.5 or something. That'd be really good.
Yeah, that'd be cool
for the viewers.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we could even set some up if anyone knows they want to call. Like, either hit up Frank, Andy, obviously the Pick Vault too, but we could definitely make that happen because I'd love to see how many people think Syracuse is going to blow San Diego State out. Not going to happen.
I mean, I don't think it'll be a blowout. No. But
that was a big time 3. I still can't believe he hit that 3. Just end the game.
At first, I thought he fouled him too.
On the 3?
Yeah.
On the first one.
OT records.
The big man
VT.
closed out and got in the space and he fell back, but no call there. But
what'd you say?
Ball don't lie, I guess.
I feel like this game's been going on forever. Colgate, Arkansas. It's like slow paced.
It was the first game that tipped. The thing with this tournament, and we talked about it yesterday, there's going to be a learning curve with how they clean the facility. I think they actually are doing what I said yesterday. I know I touched on it last night, but they are doing the morning session and the afternoon session. So there's going to be at all the arenas.
What do you mean?
So the people that are in the arena now have multiple games on their ticket.
Oh,
so you don't buy the individual game. You buy the pass.
That's how they normally do it, I thought.
Yeah, they do for like the Final Four and stuff, but for this kind of stuff, sometimes they.
Oh
my goodness!
Put him on a poster. That was crazy.
yucky.
Too bad he didn't hit the free throw to end the game. I mean, what are you doing, dude?
To be fair, though,
not to be fair, he doesn't have a highlight if he hits a free throw.
Straight. He just vertical.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was more that he just
Maybe it was the
punched
body,
that ball
but
right through his mouth.
like-
Dude, good. Go to the free throw line and brick it.
No, I think that was. I mean, he was still
Maybe
kind of.
body, that's the
Yeah,
other
I
thing.
mean, he was still kind of coming over a little bit, I guess. But I mean, that dunk was.
Yeah, I wouldn't hug
Yucky.
him. I wouldn't hug him.
Texas Tech still minus 145 on the money line.
Minus 145.
Even down 3. I don't like that.
The live lines will be so interesting too. Again, talking about the opening lines, and we've seen so many games shift. I mean, the Georgia Tech was one, obviously with the COVID issues, we couldn't figure out who it was, and it ended up being Moses Wright, their best player, the player of the year in the ACC.
Yep.
But I mean, it's been so interesting to see these games switch. Again, we saw it with Drake yesterday, and Drake was +1. I think it opened out, and it
Even more, I think +2.
right. Then it swung the other way, like 4 points to -2, -2.5 at points. So it's really interesting to see how these games move, and even in the future, if the games today will impact games tomorrow, and in the rest of this weekend, moving on to the second weekend as well.
Definitely. Not what it was.
What's
Yeah.
going on in the Tech game? I haven't shot a free throw yet. Did you
Arkansas's
foul?
pulling. Oh yeah, Arkansas's pulling away a little bit.
They're checking. I think they're checking that the dunk.
All right, Pigfall Nation, we're going to actually hop off now, and we will come back live later this afternoon. We're going to dive into the games later tonight. Obviously, we might hop even on later today, so stay tuned on the Instagram feed. For everyone out there, we're happy you tuned in, and look forward to really talking about tonight's game. So make sure you guys tune in tonight so we watch that Syracuse versus San Diego State game. I know they are all over Syracuse.
Yes, sir.
We are all over San Diego State. But I'm sure by the end of the night,
Someone wins.
maybe we'll have the Syracuse boys, really rooting for a real winning team.
We're gonna find out.
Be happy when I unlock that money tonight.
Oh gosh! But by the way, the pickball is all over
Syracuse. Yeah, the pickball loves Syracuse as
You
well.
missed the free throw again, Dan.
Yeah, good. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke.
All right, Pickball Nation. We'll talk to you guys later. We'll see you.
Peace, guys. Thank you.
Thank you for joining. I really appreciate it.
Out.
Benito.